G'day. Forget AI. This here is what's actually going to replace your job. So what this thing is an automatic mouse jiggler. So you just get a mouse, you put it on top of this, and then that top plate there just spins periodically to actually move that mouse around. So this one here is actually a brand new one. This seems to be a new version of these. So what you can also get is just a little USB plug. So you plug that in, you press the button, and then it will just jiggle that mouse around. So these are really convenient. The only downfall of these is it is a USB device that is plugged into the computer. So if you are trying to hide this and don't want anyone to see, IT administrators might be able to see that there is actually an extra USB device plugged in. Whereas this thing here, you just plug it into a USB charger or a battery bank or just some sort of power source, and then this does not show up on the computer at all. So once you put the mouse on here, it's the actual mouse itself doing the moving. So this one here is actually a brand new model, and these are super thin. So this is about 0.5 centimeter, and what is it? Maybe 2 inches, so 5 centimeters across. Really nice and small. This nice metal finish, and just sits on your desk really nice. And then again, you can put the mouse on top. Some of the other ones you can get are quite big, and they've got this mechanical motor in them that turns and spins, can be loud and annoying, and also just big and bulky and doesn't always fit on the desk really well. So this one is nice and small. There is just a single Torx screw in there, so we'll open it up to actually see how this works, because this top area does actually move. So that top plate there does spin. So I'll plug it in first and show you how that works. All right, so that's just plugged in. You can just see that green LED there just flashing just to signify that it is on. But then it doesn't actually do anything. So it has some sort of sensor in there. I'm not actually sure exactly what, but we'll open it up to see. So then when you do put something on it and cover up the area, let me actually get that right so you can see it. There, then you cover up that area, you will be able to see it start rotating. There you go, you saw it just jumped there, and then it slowly rotates backwards. So that might be really hard to actually see on camera. And then there's just a few second gap in between, and then it just kind of jolts it one way really quickly and then slowly spins it backwards. So there you go. So you can see those jolts. It's super quiet, really undetectable. And when it sits on your desk with a mouse on top, very, very low chance of it actually being detected. All right, so unplug that. It's just got a little Torx screw, as I said before. So I'll just undo that real quick and see what's inside it. All right, so just loosening up that single screw, this plate comes off. So that's just the top plate that sits on top. One side's just really shiny, but this is the one that has the texture, so that goes onto your mouse. And then this is actually pretty amazing how this works. So I'll paste it up this way and we can have a look at it. Now you can see just here IR, so that just means a little infrared sensor. So that's what detects that there's a mouse on there, or that there is some sort of an object on there. And once that's detected, that'll shoot the signal over to just this little, it's probably just a little op amp or a little timing circuit. And then that is just going to activate and run a whole bunch of current to this little voltage regulator through this orange wire here. And then you can see this really interesting assembly. So this super thin wire there, and then we've got this wire here. So what this wire actually is when a current gets passed through this wire, it'll actually shrink. So it will deform due to that heat. And that's what we see, that jerking action. So every couple of seconds that will jerk, so we can see it jerk. It then pulls this metal assembly here, pulls that inwards, and then we've just got a little spring. So that spring just counteracts it and then slowly pulls that wire back out. So that's exactly why we get that sort of jerking motion of really quick jerk and then slowly coming back. So if I plug this back in now, we should be able to see exactly how that works, and you should be able to see that wire in action. There we go, and it just makes a tiny little noise, like almost a little buzzing noise, but it's very, very quiet. So, and you can see there, it's just that golden spring that's actually pushing up against that wire to re-stretch it back out. And that little chip over here would just be timing, so every couple of seconds, that would just release a little pulse of current into that wire, and then that actually just pulls it back together. So that's actually a really smart way they've done this to eliminate a lot of moving parts. It's basically just that wire, and I would imagine that would last quite a lot of cycles. So there's not really all that much to go wrong with this. And again, the footprint of this is tiny, way smaller than some other modules. Really, really thin, and just a really nice machine. And if you do need to keep your computer on for whatever reason, this is a fantastic way to go about it, because you just put that mouse on top and it does the job really well, and it's super quiet and undetectable. So if you've got a remote job and you work from home, something like this is way more likely to actually replace you than AI from your boss's perspective. But unfortunately, this doesn't do the work for you. It just keeps your computer on. So I'll put links to this below so you can check that out on Amazon. If you are buying any of this stuff, then just use those links. It really does support the channel, so that's always very much appreciated. If you want to support me further, hit that like button, share the video, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. So as always, have a good one.